What's really cool that I don't think a lot of people know that I wanted to share with everybody is John and I, we're both teachers. You know what?
Mm.
You know what they say about teachers, right?
What?
Those who can't do,
Teach.
teach. And those who can't teach Jim.
Well, I don't teach, Joe. So
I do.
yeah,
Welcome back, guys, to the Little Flock Podcast. My name is Shane, and today we have the man with the plan, Mr. John Lowe, in the building.
hey, thanks. What's up?
What's really cool that I don't think a lot of people know that I wanted to share with everybody is John and I, we're both teachers. You know what?
Mm.
You know what they say about teachers, right?
What?
Those who can't do, teach. And those who can't teach Jim.
Well, I don't teach, Joe. So
I do.
yeah. We're both educators, though.
School of Rock.
Yes, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, so cool. Yeah. Well, John, man, I would love for you to just spend a little bit of time kind of introduce yourself to the church and maybe anybody who doesn't know who John is.
Oh, okay. My name is John Lowe. I'm married to my wife, Liz. And together we have three children: Isaac, Mary, Grace. Isaac is 8. Mary just turned 7, and Grace is 4. I've been
Nice.
I come to Little Flock since 2017. We've been here for a second,
Yeah.
and we live on the Bullitt Jefferson line, so pretty close to church. And I teach early American history over at U of L, University of Louisville, and I teach theology over at Bellarmine University.
Bro.
And so when I have spare time, which is rare, I usually end up playing Legos and dressing up Barbies.
Yeah.
Which,
W
yeah,
Dad. Oh
yeah.
man. You're like a legit teacher.
Oh, I don't
Like
know about that.
I just teach people how to play volleyball and how to dribble a basketball. Like I don't even really be teaching. Man. Well, that's dope, man. Well, dude, we're so excited to have you on the podcast, man. I think your kids, do they play any of the sports here?
They do. They play soccer and basketball. And
Nice.
several years ago, my middle daughter, she did dance.
Mm.
She did dance here. So um, they're pretty involved in the Little Flock athletics,
Yeah,
if you want to.
yeah,
And then
same.
I usually coach their basketball teams. So
You be
yeah,
hooping.
yeah, hooping, man,
Yeah.
hooping in the den, the Lions
Whoa.
den.
Trademark that.
Yeah.
No, same for me. Well, my 5-year-old isn't. She did the soccer this year in the fall for the first time. I don't think soccer is her thing.
No.
If I'm being honest, like she wasn't. She tried. I think she tried. My 9-year-old, she's doing the volleyball here, and she really likes it, and I'm kind of
Okay.
helping coach that too.
Okay.
But that's I think that's the big thing that I wanted to kind of highlight kind of earlier on was for me, dude. I have entered this season of life where I'm slammed.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's a good thing. But for majority of my adult life, I don't know that I've ever truly experienced adult busyness like I do now, where I feel like, man, we have something every night, every single night. Um, and man, I've felt some pretty heavy convictions lately about how I'm spending my time. And that's one of the big things that I wanted to talk to you about was, you're a dad like me. You got little kids, you got a full-time job, you got a wife, you also have a life. What does free time look like for you in this season of life that you're in?
Particularly in this season of life, free time is when I'm not working or doing something for work. It means just like spending time with my family, whether it's we're, vegging out to a movie on
Mm-hmm.
the weekends and we're just kind of relaxing, or doing something um, not necessarily beneficial. Like I'm not sitting there just reading like the Bible to them
Mm-hmm.
constantly, but doing something with them, spending time with them, mentoring them um, in a way that they could probably look back and it was like, Dad invested into me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he took us to church, he, prayed with us, etc. But he really wanted us to be more than what we were in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you just constantly expect kids to be kids, they're going to stay kids.
Yeah.
And so that's not to say that letting them have fun is a no go. But so for example, not every week, but probably like every other week, when my wife is at work, she works at NCI, the Northern Cancer Institute.
Mm-hmm.
She works till about 9 or so, and so in the evenings after dinner, sometimes my girls what they love to do is bake a cake.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really like to eat the cake. They just like to eat the icing.
Yeah.
Lick the
But the
bowl.
actual baking
Yeah,
part
yeah.
entices
Cracking the
them.
eggs,
Oh
fighting over
man.
who gets to crack the eggs,
Yeah, yeah,
etc.
yeah.
Who gets to turn on the KitchenAid, etc. They're all about all of that, and so I do it with them, teach them like, okay, we have to follow the directions, and so it's not something quote unquote spiritual.
Mm.
It's not something that I'm not sitting down with the Bible with them and having them memorize scripture.
Cracking
I'm
this
not,
egg
yeah,
is we're
you know,
highlighting here where this, I get
yeah.
what you're saying.
So I'm
Yeah.
intentionally okay. Let's do this. We'll spend a few hours
Mm.
doing this together, making that time intentional with them. Where okay, Dad actually wants, and I do like want to spend time with him. And then for my son, he's big into sports right now.
Mm.
He thinks he's Kobe or Ronaldo when
Oh.
whatever sport he's playing, whether it's basketball or
Hmm.
soccer, and he just wants to go out to the driveway and shoot around, play, throw the
Man,
football, whatever it is. And
that's a blessing right there, bro.
free time for me, just I see it as a period where I need to maximize. I don't need to, but I also want to maximize the most beneficial time with my kids.
Mm.
And whenever Liz is off, maximize our time as well. But with the young children, as it's just go, go, go
Yeah.
all the time. And not so much just, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna watch Bluey for 5 hours straight. We're
Mm.
not really talking. When we do watch a lot of Bluey or,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but occasionally, we need to do something else where we're interacting and things
I'm
like
not
that.
gonna lie, man. There's some weeks that
Yeah.
5 hour sesh is
Yeah,
needed.
absolutely. You
Like,
need to hit that reset button
yeah.
by pressing power
Yeah,
on
dude.
on the TV.
No. So you said something I wanted to touch on that I think resonated with me. You said that you wanted to invest in your kids and be present, that they would look back almost and be like, man, my dad was present. My dad was there.
Yeah.
And like, I think for me, when I look back on my childhood, like I have a very great dad, but I don't have a whole lot of memories I mean, I've got a lot of memories with him. I'm not going to sit here and bash my dad like I do, but I don't know that I can recall back on him pouring into me spiritually while I was young with free time. Which, granted, we growing up in the '90s, that was a bit different.
Yeah.
Like they'd be just kicking us outside.
Yeah.
Don't come inside
Yeah.
unless you're bleeding.
Yeah, unless you're bleeding. Here's a
Yeah.
jug of Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
You don't get any cups. I'm sorry. The storm door's locked.
yeah, yeah. Don't bother me. But you said investing in your kids, and do that. That right there is such a heavy conviction by itself. Is the moment I became a dad, it was like, man, all right, now I got a job to do, and my free time's a lot like yours, to where we both get home. My wife and I, we both get home. Our kids get off the bus like 10 minutes later. And then it's a lot of evenings, it feels like go, 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 go. But being present and feeling invested is like top priority for me. So, like you said, like you and your girls, you'll spend time baking cakes with them. Did you ever think, yep, when I become a dad, I'm just going to be John Crocker in the kitchen?
No, no, not at
I don't
all.
know
I
if
thought
I
I
should
was.
say that. I
I
don't know
did.
if that's a good thing or not.
I didn't. I never thought I'll be doing those things. But like uh, playing Barbies or whatever else they want me to do. Um, to a degree, I feel like it is like an investment with them, knowing that hey, Dad was always
Mm-hmm.
Dad was always there. Like he was always present uh, in my life, and even later on in life when they want to or seeking guidance, whether it's like secular or spiritual guidance. I hope that I'm at least one of the people that can be like, okay, it's okay to like ask me
Oh yeah.
questions, come back. And actually, in one of our Connect groups Sunday morning, there was a recent one of our friends that was in there. Him and his wife recently had a child, and he said something not exactly profound or innovative, but it's something that also really resonated with me. He said he was holding his child, and she's an infant. She's like 2, 3 months old, and he said that I have like two options. He was like, I can like it's silent, baby's not crying, she's fed,
Mm-hmm.
or he's fed, he's changed, I can finally have some downtime. He was like, I have two choices. I can either sit here, hold him with one arm, and scroll,
Yeah.
or I can just enjoy God's blessing.
Embrace it.
Like really, just
Yeah.
like I can enjoy God's blessing of having the children and thinking and pondering that.
Mm.
Like, God's blessed me with children. What a joy this is, and just really appreciate it. And so, like I said, it's not exactly profound, but it struck home with me. Like, okay, I can either, when I get home from work or whatever, I can, have the kids watch TV, let them play on iPads, tablets, whatever, and I can scroll my phone, or I can do something where it's like, okay, this is our time.
Yeah.
This is, this
Well,
is
you just said that. It makes me think of it. How do you think kids spell love? Like, how do you think they spell love?
Time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, time.
Time.
Because my 4-year-old, she won't say like, um, I miss you or let's hang out or whatever. She'll say, play with me.
Mm-hmm.
Play with me.
Dude, I have
Play with
such
me.
heavy.
Do you want to play with me? And that's her. I feel like that's her way of saying like I want to spend time with you right
Yeah,
now.
man.
I want to spend time with you.
Dude, so I don't know where I heard it. I don't know where I was at in life whenever I finally like got slapped across the face with this, but like somebody was breaking down like summers. Dude, I have like this is gonna hit. This is gonna hit heavy. I have maybe 8 summers left with my 9-year-old.
I think Nate
And I
says
think
this.
it hits heavy for me because my wife and I are both teachers, so we're off during the summer. So we spend 2 months out of the year where we're just with our kids every day, all day. And that's such a blessing. It really is. But like, I have 9 summers left, 8 or 9 summers left with her. And when I look at it from that perspective, man, it really slams how many times I'm like, they're coming to ask to play, and I'm like, oh, not right now. Like, been a long day at work. Dude, I get through those, I'll go through seasons where I'm so in the flesh and I only care about myself
Mm-hmm.
that I will completely neglect the gift of having a child that is seeking me to
Yeah,
just be with them.
exactly. And I think that like the inward looking or to yourself, like the
Mm,
selfishness of that, like I'm tired. I want to do what I want to do. Basically, is what we're saying.
yeah.
Whatever you said, I like that word they use neglect.
Mm,
Like you're neglecting the joy
yeah.
of a blessing that God has given you. And so you really shut your life out, or you shut a part of your life out whenever you say when you become selfish. Like
Mm,
in very rare instances is does selfishness like benefit like the life of your spouse or your
yeah.
children. Very rarely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you definitely have downtime, but very rare.
Mm,
Uh, that's extremely rare. Um, I didn't know there was a movie about this, but something that me and Liz have done for I don't know close to 2 years now. There's a movie called like Yes Day, right?
dude, don't even get me
Yeah, a
started.
Yes Day, but we kind of don't do it
No, dude,
like the
we have
movie.
to. My kids have seen
Oh,
it. Now
really?
they think that it's like
Okay,
law.
so my older two,
It's terrible.
they recently saw the movie and they were
Yeah.
like, that's what mommy and daddy do. So like probably once a month or something, me and Liz will each take one of the kids out.
Mm,
Like my daughters call it a whatever date because
mm,
they get to do whatever they want
yeah.
within budget,
Within reason.
within reason and
Yeah.
within budget. We're not going to go on a safari just so you can see a real giraffe. We'll go to the zoo for that.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper too. So like I'll take one of my daughters out on a date. They can go to a restaurant of their choice, whatever restaurant they want. It's usually either Olive Garden or Chick-fil-A. And
Yeah.
I know that,
W
they're
places,
not
by the
they're
way.
not gonna want to be like, let's go to Jeff Ruby's, Dad.
Yeah, let's go to Jeffrey's.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get a steak.
yeah. That's my son. My
Oh,
son,
nice.
he has, I don't know where he gets it from, but he has expensive taste. He wants like steak, seafood. He'll crush a dozen oysters. So that's what he and I will do. We'll go to like Doc Crow's or Juno over here, and we'll drink as much root beer and smash as many raw oysters as
Oh my
possible.
gosh, bro.
But Liz and I will
That's
each
dope.
we'll have an evening where we each take one of the kids out individually, and we'll do something with them like once a month. Like 1 month she'll do it, I'll do it, and then we'll just rotate kids. We'll take them to Putt Shack, do putt with them or something like that. Something that they do too, but they get to do whatever they want
Yeah,
within reason and within budget. So they started calling it a whatever day.
whatever day.
And I felt so robbed when I realized there was a movie about this. I'm like, man, this was supposed to be my W. Like
You mean to tell me someone else has already been coming up with this?
This is an original idea that me and my wife had, but then there was a movie about it, and so
Real question is when did y'all come up with it, and when was this movie made?
I don't know
You
when the movie came out, but we started doing this probably maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know when that movie came out, but my girls they've watched it, and they by default thought that was
Legit
a
thing.
legit thing, and now it's become their birthday is a yes day,
Okay.
and they talk about it year round. They're like, Dad, when it's my yes day, I'm gonna pie you in the face, and you can't say nothing about it. Like they think everything is obviously like you within reason. It's dude, that's a dope thing to do with your kids. That individual. I don't think my wife and I are there yet. Like, I mean, we'll definitely go out individual with the kids. But I'm glad you said that, man, because I feel like that's something I can definitely start to incorporate is prioritizing that individual time with them, where they get like individual time with mom, or individual time with
Yeah.
dad, and those are core memories
Yeah,
that you're
absolutely.
setting for the kids.
Yeah.
So, and I know you mentioned this earlier because I know that not everything we're doing when it comes to like spending time with the people we care about is always like biblical or we're in the word together or anything
Yeah.
like that. However, I think the way that we carry ourselves, granted, I might not be, when I'm spending time with my girls, I might not be having the Bible out in front of them, but the way that I carry myself, and I think like demonstrate the fruits of the Spirit and teaching moments of that like with them is just as impactful.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, like, I guess my girls learned the fruits of the Spirit because of a song at Vacation Bible School.
Sure.
My 5-year-old loves to point out when I'm not being kind because that's not a fruit I'm not being fruits of the Spirit, Daddy. But man, like, it definitely seems like you have a lot of self-awareness about how much or how important spending time is, especially with like your kids, with your wife, even with your job. I think my question is like, have you always had that like sense of self-awareness?
Most definitely not.
Okay, so
No.
like maybe tell us like
Well, back whenever I was younger, single, no kids yet, I would spend massive amounts of time like playing video games. Me and my friends during college, we would, on the weekends we'd play video games.
Yeah.
Play StarCraft. For Diablo or whatever.
Yeah.
For 12 hours straight.
was a bit
We'd
of a
order
Halo
pizza.
guy myself.
Halo
but,
2. Yeah, man. Like, we would do all those things, and we would be spending massive amounts of time playing video games, or sometimes during the fall, me and my buddies, we would get together, we'd watch college football 10 hours. We'd watch 3 or 4 games, 12 hours from noon to midnight.
Yeah.
We would do that. And so I really didn't have to. I wasn't really required. I didn't really have to, quote unquote, answer to anyone with my time. I could stay up, study, whatever, if I needed to, but I would be using all of this time. And obviously, no one's going to make the argument that watching football or
Right.
fishing or video games
Yeah.
is,
I mean, March
is a
Madness
sin.
rolls around, dude.
Dude, yeah.
I'm
100%.
I'm
Yeah.
locked in.
Yeah, exactly. And for a short period, yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
To watch as long as you're not, you're not
Right.
neglecting, you know,
Kids in the
the
back haven't had
kids.
dinner.
Yeah, they haven't had dinner yet.
Yeah.
But it's the third overtime.
Yeah.
Whatever. But there's a lot of time that could have been used for something else.
Mm.
And so later on, after we got married, had kids, even our first kid, I didn't realize how selfish like I was, even after I was saved. Like
Mm.
God just revealed to me, you know, this isn't little boy camp anymore where you just you get to kind of do what you want all the
Yeah.
time. People, my wife, my children need me, and so over a period of time, I had to learn how to discipline myself and how I'm just going to manage my time. Who's going to get how much time?
Yeah.
How much time does video games. And by the way, like I can't remember the last time I played a video game.
Mm.
Like, which is fine. Like
Yeah.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. And I think whenever the Lord redirects the desires and passions, and whenever you ask him to give you those like good, spiritual, healthy passions in your life, you find yourself to be okay with that. Because I don't think
That's
once I
good.
ever thought, actually spending time with my kids, yeah, that was kind of like B level. I really wish I should have picked up the controller and played video games, or
Right.
watched
Right.
a basketball game. I don't think I've ever thought like that. And
Mm.
so I think whenever when you have the right heart posture of like, God, give me a new desires,
So when was it for you? I think like when do you think God revealed in your heart like you that the way you were spending your time?
well,
I
after
know
the
you
first kid,
highlighted
yeah,
like around
it was gradual. It was first,
yeah.
it was very gradual. It didn't happen like overnight. It was most definitely some self learning, some trial and error
Mm.
of what worked. And so it was after having kids where I'm like, okay, my time is extremely important, and how I use my time is probably even more important. And I think a danger with that whenever you're speaking to Christians is like when you talk about time management, how you spend your time, the knee jerk reaction is, okay, well, then I need to be busy. I
Mm.
need to be doing something every second of the day, or else it's wasted.
Right.
Well, maybe yes and no. Maybe you're not as busy as perhaps you should be, but what it can develop over time is such a strict schedule that you're not available to serve the
Mm.
church. You're not available to serve your neighbors, or you're not available to share the gospel because you've crammed your schedule full of stuff, and so you're too busy for these things. So whenever I talk about young people, perhaps spending too much time on something, they're for one, you know, not using time as wisely as they
Mm.
should, and they're not allowed to be as flexible. You know,
Mm.
so, someone calling me and like, hey, if you're mentoring someone and they have a kind of like, a wonky schedule, but you've crammed so much stuff onto your calendar that you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I can really only meet you,
Yeah.
at 5 a.m. on Wednesday. Yeah, weekends are too
Yeah.
busy.
3 months from now
Or,
on a
yeah, three
Wednesday.
months from
Yeah.
now. And your schedule becomes so busy, it becomes inflexible.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the dangers. It's not, the answer isn't, okay, be more busy. The answer is a realignment first of your heart,
Yeah, man.
and then a realignment of how you're spending your time. So adjustments, realignment of your time,
Yeah.
not so much I need to be busier.
Dude, praise God for that conviction. Like to see and understand like God loves you so much that he doesn't want you to stay where you were. And so that conviction comes in a way of like, man, look at how I'm spending my time. Look at how much, and like you said, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing things that we enjoy,
No, absolutely
you
not.
know,
Yeah.
but there's definitely a place where that becomes an idol over how I steward my time that God has given me. And, like
Sure.
I
Yeah.
look at my children, I look at my wife, I even do my friends, how I, how I steward my time in order to allow the fruits of the spirit that God has given me to pour into them. Whereas like you, I had to go through a little bit of a growing period where I think I learned how to like discern that time that God was giving me and how much I was wasting it,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah. And taking moments where you don't think, like maybe they're not. And that, like, what I mean by that is like seeing an opportunity or carving out time for something that you didn't even know was there. So, for example, your dad might like this. So, John Wesley's mom, Susanna Wesley,
Mm-hmm.
they had multiple children. This is during the 18th century. There's multiple children running around. Houses are small. Not a whole lot of time to pray,
Mm.
right? Not a lot of time to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, perhaps even an hour a day, what would happen is that she would sit in the kitchen and she would take her apron and put it over her head and sit in the chair and she would just pray while all the kids are helping, with
Just
meals,
like
running
running
around,
around.
screaming. They knew, but her kids didn't disturb her. They knew that that was mom's time in prayer.
Mm.
So everything else is going around in the house, craziness and everything, but she's sitting there in a chair with an apron over her head praying. And so there's times like that where, there's so much chaos in our life going
Yeah.
on that, maybe even in the midst of it, we can still make time and be like, okay, I'm going to be undistracted. I'm going to devote my time to something that I think is
Mm.
beneficial for my soul, beneficial to model for my children, beneficial to, the overall well-being of the house that I'm attempting to lead for the glory of God.
Mm.
So that's an example.
No, that's a good
Yeah.
example. Makes me want to get an apron because, like, I don't know that my kids. I mean, they know like there are moments where daddy's in his quiet place
Yeah.
right now, so don't bother me. But so, like, for some of our viewers that may be in this like season of busyness,
Sure.
how can they best discern when something has crossed the line into like becoming a distraction or an idol
Ooh.
versus necessarily it not being a bad thing?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think, at least for me, in my experience, and to be honest, I don't always make the right decision. I'm not perfect.
Yeah. Retweet.
Yeah. Yeah. But one of the things I learned from Nate is whenever we do anything, right, we need to ask ourselves, does this have any eternal value,
Mm.
right? Is watching a basketball game, does it have any eternal value? No, not
Mm.
really. It doesn't have really any eternal value. Is it
Right.
permissible? Is it sinful in itself? No. And so then I need to look at the things that it's costing me then.
Mm.
I need to look at, my calendar, my bank account. Is it costing me so much time and money that it's taking away
That's
from
good.
something else? So for example, if I went to a restaurant, I was going to watch college football, for 12 hours, 10 hours, I'm left with, a large bill in 12 hours I can't get back, that really is an eternal waste.
Yeah.
In so many, for lack of a better term, it really didn't benefit anyone. It didn't really benefit me other than like just an immediate satisfaction. And I'm out, probably over $100 in wings because I love spicy. I love hot wings, man. Yeah, me and my son. That's another thing that we do, by the way. We go to
Y'all just
we
throw
go
down
somewhere,
on some wings.
dude. We go ham on some wings.
Oh, man.
So it cost me some time
Mm.
and money, and it didn't have any eternal value. Now, is it okay to do that every once in a while? Perhaps. I'm not sure. It depends on the scenario,
Right.
right? But if I'm doing that every single weekend,
Then it becomes a distraction.
it just becomes a distraction. It's taken away from a Saturday to where, I could be serving. If it's a church
Yeah.
event, if it's, for whatever reason, if people are watching the NFL,
Mm.
and they're watching it on Sundays and they're taking away, they can't go to church, when their team's playing at noon
Yeah.
or at 1 or whatever, we obviously,
Dude,
we
no,
know,
you're hitting a really good
so
spot.
you need to check your time,
Yeah.
your talent. What does Nate say? Time, talent, and
Yeah.
what does he say?
Treasure.
Time, talent, and treasure.
Mhm.
Those type of things. And so if it's taking so much away that you're not able to serve, your family, you can't serve your church,
Yeah.
for long periods of time, you're not serving, your neighbors or whoever, then that's when there needs to be some reassessment of, okay,
Mhm.
why am I doing this? Am I being distracted? What's filling my mind during the day? Am I daydreaming about these things? And so you have to really assess, yourself.
It's a heart
Yeah,
posture
yeah,
check,
the heart
dude.
posture, man. Like,
Yeah.
is my intention really? And again, you
Or
can
what
make
is
excuses.
what is the intention behind it?
Yeah.
Like, where's that root?
Yeah, and it's so easy, right, to
Yeah.
excuse some of these permissible things that can become distractions and eventually evolve into idols. Some of the guys that I watched college football with for, long periods of time, they're other Christians. Oh man, we're fellowshipping.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're fellowshipping for a long time. Well, yeah,
How much of it
yeah,
was fellowship?
yeah. How much of it was fellowshipping?
Yeah.
So those type of things, it's easy for yourself to excuse yourself, to make excuses.
Yeah,
Like,
man. That's
and
good.
you dress it up. You dress up these distractions as these godly things. And so I think one of the dangers is to look at all of those things and to really sit down and answer those questions for yourself. Am I being distracted? Is this really taken away from something that has eternal value, from the kingdom, from a family?
Mm,
And all those overlap, obviously.
right. No, that's good.
Yeah,
That's really good. Well, dude, man, thank you so much for your time.
absolutely.
Thank you so much for your wisdom, dude. Like, I'm serious, man. You carry a lot of spiritual wisdom with you that I value, and I super
Oh,
appreciate.
thanks, man.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking some time out of your busy life to come sit down and talk to us, on the podcast. So, man,
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
dude, appreciate you, man. I would love to pray for you,
Sure.
if that's cool. Thank you, man. All right.